you got to have a dream, but you got to have a plan. And you can't just be dreaming. And many people, they have these dreams and goals, and it's like it's out here in your mind, which is great, but you got to somehow ground that into how am I going to make that happen?
Rain down, streaming like the sky was falling down. I'll stay in here for at least another hour.
Our guest today is Mark Price. Mark Price is someone who I have known for years. He has become a brother from another mother. We have spent so many hours in the past talking, and he is someone who is a unique guest in that he is a pickleball coach, my pickleball coach, and the coach to so many. Mark Price Pickleball has become one of the most sought-after programs in the pickleball community. Mark has been a coach for so many years. He has such a wealth of information, such great perspective, such a wonderful heart. I love our conversations that we've had over the years, and I'm so stoked to get to share one of those conversations with you.
Sounds good.
Mark Price.
Thank you, mate.
Pickleball legend, in my opinion. Yeah, I wore the shirt. This is for you. This is not me. This is not me representing myself. This is me paying homage to you.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, so you are likely going to be the only guest who doesn't work in the entertainment industry.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah, it's
I'm
pretty
privileged.
Yeah, although you are kind of an on-air personality in the world of social media. How many, I mean, if you think about how many views your videos have had, right, from all over the world.
Incredible.
You know, I mean, it's kind of wild how it's all happened.
Yeah, I remember being in England, and I ran a coaching company, a sports coaching, and I had social media that I'd share occasionally. Just for fun. I think I had 500 followers, and I never saw it as a way of teaching or drawing customers or sort of helping grow sport, you know. And I think only recently, you know, we met with a social media expert. This was probably 4 years ago, who said we were blowing up on some of our posts. So we were getting, you know, 60,000, 100,000 views. And I said, what do I do with this? Because once a week I share a coaching post, and it's doing really well. And then I share photos of my friends. here's me playing here, here's me playing over here. So all week I'd share sort of selfies.
Right.
And then once a week I'd share a coaching post. And she said, it's very simple. Just do a coaching post every day. And I said, I can't do that. That's far too much work. It takes me hours to do this. And my team said, hey, we can do this. You know, we can batch the filming, we can create tips. And so it came just as a desire to seeing there's a hunger, seeing that people want to learn, they want to grow, and just meeting that need, and getting some guys together who can do filming and editing, and then just sort of sharing our passion for the sport, you know.
Yeah.
And that's brought in international travel, sponsorship deals, you know, just beyond what I could imagine, really.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So a lot of our talk will inevitably be about pickleball.
Okay.
Which should come to no shock to any of you. You all know how much I love pickleball. Pretty much anybody in my life knows how obsessed I am with this sport, which I think still for many, they look at as kind of silly, probably, right?
Yeah.
You know, and it's, yet I can tell you this much. I mean, by all the analytics, it's growing faster than any sport maybe ever, you know, with the trajectory. And you happen, I mean, 4 years ago, it was very different, right?
Was. Yeah.
I mean, in terms of the number of people playing, the number of people interested in pickleball.
Yeah.
What do you think about that with pickleball in terms of it growing and from your perspective?
Yeah, so when I first started, it was with a few old people in a gym.
That sounds about right.
So we were, you know, retired folks, and the guy who introduced me was, I think he was 85 at the time, and no, it wasn't cool. When I told people that I was playing pickleball, and I started playing 4 hours a day, every day, because I couldn't work. I had a work visa, not a work visa, a fiancé visa. Came to the country. I was a sports coach in England, and I got pulled into pickleball. I sort of dragged into it really, where my wife's friend, who was an older guy, as soon as he heard I was a sports coach, said, "I've got to teach Mark pickleball," and I resisted for 3 months. Just said, just tell him I'm busy. I'm not. I'm doing my hair. I'm just, I just thought it sounded ridiculous, just the name.
Yeah.
And in the end, my wife said, "You've got to go." He keeps asking. This is getting embarrassing. So I said, "Okay, I'll go. I'll go once, and that's it." I was determined I was going to go once. And went there. It was just a group of old people, retired folks who were playing, and just something about it. You know that thing where. Just the sound, the community, the banter, everyone's having fun, the points are fun. And I kept smashing the net. I was like, what, why are my volleys hitting the net? And just from day one, loved the game. And also the community, the aspect of camaraderie and friendship. So, so when I was playing 7 years ago, it was just old people. So if I told someone, nobody knew what it was. And they'd all say, "Oh, that's for old people, isn't it?" I say, "It's actually really good." It's I was all trying to justify, it is actually a good game.
Yeah.
And, but in the last 4 years, it's just taken this skyrocket trajectory where, just incredible growth. I mean, unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I think COVID had something to do with that, where people were at home and they were trying to find things to do and they were isolating, and pickleball was still sort of considered, you could still social distance and do that. But I think, it's hard to know how it's come so popular in such a short space of time. But I think America are leading the way, and with the pro circuit here, and it becoming explosive growth in America, other countries are taking note and like, this is big. We can, we want to take this on as well.
Yeah.
I then think you get businessmen and entrepreneurs who think, hey, we can make money on this.
Right. Sure.
Building apps and building communities and franchising pickleball courts. So it's just taken a life of its own, really.
Yeah.
And then obviously paddle companies and equipment companies. But back in the day, when the OGs were playing, it was just in a sports hall, wooden floors, or we're chalking courts. In Atlanta, I'd go with these guys who'd mastered chalking courts.
Chalking the courts.
Mike Max and
chalking. No, I love the accent. The accent, no, you elevate the sophistication of the show.
Yeah. So, they were experts in chalking the court and, could do it. They had a chalk on a piece of stick, a long stick, and they'd run with the stick down the line. So they'd mark it, okay, come towards me, and they'd run down the line, and they could mark out 2 or 3 courts, in a really fast time. Just impressive.
Awesome.
They were so addicted, they wanted to make it happen because there was no courts in Atlanta.
Right.
And now we've got, it's all over.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
In fact, I was talking to some real estate friends where if there's ever a new property that's being built, like some kind of like apartment complex, you've got to put pickleball courts in. Like it's a must.
Incredible.
If you want to increase the value and get more people to want to live there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know for me, the first time I got into it was down in Naples, Florida. That was in 2019 with
your grandma?
My Aunt Susan.
Oh, your aunt? Okay.
Yeah. So my wife's grandmother lives down there as well. But my Aunt Susan, who is significantly older than I am, and as were most of the people playing, but immediately I remember she said, "Hey, you like tennis, so why don't you come down and come play?" I figured I'd go there for a little. I think I stayed there. I think I was there for like 3 to 4 hours.
Amazing. On the first day?
First day.
Amazing.
And I just went, wow, this is really fun. So, I have my theories with pickleball. I feel like when you think about all the things that we as human beings need, right? We need connection. We need community, right? We need to move our bodies, which obviously in this day and age is more important than ever. Yeah. And when we move our bodies, it's not only good for our bodies, it's good for our brains. And then you also have the competitive component.
Amazing.
Like I was telling you yesterday, I played with a foursome. Quick shout out to my Mancation crew, who you got to know down in Ponte Vedra.
Awesome.
Ben, Mike, Billy, Joby, Tyler. This is for you all day, baby, all day. Anytime I hit a netball and it goes over, instead of going, oh, sorry, sorry, I hit that ball, I go, all day, baby. Like,
All day.
yeah.
Fantastic.
So, but I think about the competitive element. We don't have a lot of things outside of maybe work where we're competing, and I think there's such value in having competition.
Yeah.
And it's friendly, and I was telling you yesterday, I played with a foursome, and last week I played with the same foursome, and I won the majority of the games. Not the case yesterday.
They stepped it up.
Yeah, but it's one of these things where where I was saying to my buddies, with pickleball, even a day where I'm losing every game in pickleball, I'd rather be doing that than most things in life. And you learn a lot through that competition. So you are a pickleball. You're known as being a pickleball coach now. Obviously, but you've been a coach. Almost your whole life.
Nearly my whole life, yeah.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit about what catalyzed your coaching career?
Yeah, I remember. Excuse me. I was in high school. Not high school. I mean, they call things different in England. So
Of course
I was.
they do. Of course.
So I went to a place called Ellesmere College, which was a private school, and we had coaches every day. So it was basically a sort of. I was in high school. Let me go back a bit.
Yeah.
I was in high school and not doing very well.
Okay.
And my mum felt that girls were a distraction. so she said, we've got to take him out of school and put him in a private school with all boys.
Oh, wow.
That was the thing. And I was like, this is not good. But then they said it's got a massive sports element. So I was like, oh, that sounds good. So we basically played sport every day for 2 hours a day. And you got into a team and then competed in that team. But then they brought in coaches who were national governing body or national level coaches who'd coach in that sport. So we'd have rugby, football, soccer, tennis, squash. So every sport we played, we had a coach who'd come in and work with us. So my experience of coaching from the very onset was just a really amazing experience. And then if I was in Cub Scouts, we had dads who were coaches who were just really passionate about football and soccer in America.
Yeah,
so I just think that from very early, all my experiences of coaches was positive. They were affirming, encouraging. They were knowledgeable. They were passionate, and they helped shape my game and helped shape me. And so, from very young, I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to be a coach.
What age are we talking about?
So 12 years old. 12
Wow.
years old, yeah.
Wow.
And so then I went to this private school until I was 16. Got pretty good at squash and tennis, and I mean we played a lot of sport. And then went back to the school that I was taken away from.
Your mom trusted you now with the girls.
Yeah. So now at 17, 18, I was in this school, and I did gymnastics as a work experience for a few weeks, and that became 2 years of work experience because I loved it. And so I had these free periods called study periods. And they're meant to be for study. They're meant to be for homework. So I went to the head of PE and said, "Hey, I'd love to volunteer my time. I want to learn to coach. Could I volunteer some time?" And said, "Yeah, we'd love that. How much time have you got?" I said, "I've got 20 hours a week." So
all of your
I
study
basically
time.
gave all my study time to the PE department, and they said, "This is great." So then they suddenly had a guy helping with every PE lesson, 20 hours a week, obviously voluntary.
Yeah.
But then just watched and learned and joined in with the younger children who were, sort of 12, 13-year-olds, and I was 17. But just learning how to coach and be in that environment. And I was thinking about this morning, how after 3 months, the PE teacher came to me, sat me down and said, "Mark, you're more of a hindrance than a help." He said, "You're late, you're disorganized, you're not ready, you haven't got your kit." You're not helping us. And if you're serious about it, you've got to be ready, on time, organized, and he was going to stop me doing it. I was like, okay, I really want this. So I had to be on time, show up with clean kit, and ready to work, and sort of, you know, on the ball. And so I did that for 2 years, and then sort of researching into sports coaching, and you had to get a sports science degree, you know, biomechanics and sports, and sort of had to have science at a high level. And I was a good academic, but I wasn't a high level academic, and didn't really enjoy science. So, you know, I passed my biology, but didn't struggle with physics and chemistry. So I thought, I don't want to be a PE teacher. I want to be a coach. So I don't want to go the traditional route and, you know, go through university and do all this degree stuff. I want to coach. I want to be on the ground, hands-on. So I thought there's got to be a way. I'm going to find a way. I'm going to make a way for myself. And I'm not going to go through university. So I found out that universities did national governing body courses on the sport. So they would do the sort of the educational side or the academic side in the classroom, but then they send them away to the LTA, the Lawn Tennis Association, to do their tennis qualification, or the FA for the Football Association for the qualification. So they'd get national governing body qualifications while in university. So I thought, that's it. I'm just going to go straight to the source. So I did my football coaching, squash, tennis, gymnastics, badminton, you know, like everything. Badminton, ping pong, and just started collecting qualifications, and with a dream to be a coach, you know. So I had this dream from 12 years old. 18, I'd got a lot of qualifications already, and my nana said to me, Mark, I've seen this organization in South Wales, that is involved in outdoor education. So it's rock climbing, kayaking, caving, mountaineering. She said you could get qualified as an instructor. It's not sport, but it's similar. It's a similar field. You can learn to teach, you can instruct, but it's voluntary. I said, this is awesome. This is just what I want. So then I went to Wales. My dad said he'd support me. He was a doctor. So I moved to Wales, and they did an interview, and they talked all about it. I said, this is great. They said, but you have to self-finance. I said, no problem. My dad had already said he would, you know. So they were like, fantastic. So I did 2.5 years. I then became a kayak instructor, cave leader, mountain instructor, kayak instructor. You know,
a kayak instructor.
Yeah, kayak instructor. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So just so I think for me, even though sports was from the very beginning, my sort of core foundation is outdoor education, where I learned to communicate with groups of 180 people. I learned to cook for that many, and then also keeping that many safe as well. So for me, when I'm coaching now, I'm drawing upon 30 years of experience and situations and sort of, I think when you have to keep people safe, their lives safe, literally their lives, so that you're responsible. If you tie knots wrong or you lose focus, someone could die. You're kayaking, you've got to keep the group in front of you at all times. So I do this on the pickleball court now, like no one's allowed behind me. And people think I'm being a bit OCD, but I think it's just my safety thing of someone could capsize behind you and be drowning and you don't see them. So you always keep everyone in front of you. And also for communication, they're in front of you, you can see everyone, you can communicate clearly because they're in front of you. And it's funny, in sport, for some reason, you always get one person who stands right behind you. You're talking to the group and someone will stand right here. For some reason, I'm not sure if they're like the rogue who wants to sit at the back of the bus. But I'm like, hey, come on, get over here. Come and join the group. Get off my court, So I'll get them in front of me so I can communicate with them. And but I think when I'm coaching, I'm drawing upon 30 years of coaching gymnastics, soccer, tennis, kayaking, and bringing that to the mix. And I think, for me, coaching's become this thing in pickleball where people see it as a way of earning money. Like, so you're getting all these people around the world now who think, I know, I can give pickleball tips and I can make money on YouTube or, and because they're seeing that, we're talking about the market being flooded, pickleball's growing rapidly, and all these people trying to get involved in some way. And so you're seeing YouTube now, TikTok, Instagram flooded with people sharing tips who are not really coaches. You know, they're like, they've heard an idea, they've seen thing, it's a copycat thing, or it's just like, or they play and they're like, this will be a good tip. And I think that, you know, the motivation behind it, it could be, you know, I'm sure they want to help people, but you know, my heart is a coach. You know, my roots are a coach. I'm not just sharing tips. You know, I'm not just making drills. And I think that, you know, I teach my team that we're not managers, we're coaches. And if we're just giving tips out, like giving out free tips and running drills, we're really a manager. We're sharing knowledge. But for me, coaching's far more beyond giving some advice or giving a tip or starting a drill. It's about, you know, it's about personhood, about what you said about connection, communication. It's about creating an environment where people feel safe, where their heart opens, where they trust you. And those things that are sort of unspoken, because it's not sort of a highlight reel.
Right.
But for me, the core of coaching is about connection, communication, making someone feel safe, where they feel they can open their heart and they trust you. And you know, that can come through empathy, it can come through a smile, it can come through telling a joke, or, oh, I love that shirt. You know, first thing I said to you, the Pickleball shirt, man, Pickleball legend, you're a legend. So the first thing I'm doing is trying to connect with you, and you're my friend.
Yeah.
But I think we start doing it naturally as a way of, you know, wow, I love those shoes, you know. You're this little young guy here, I'm saying, hey, you play pickleball, give him a fist bump. Because we want to somehow connect with them, where they feel the walls come down and this person's friendly, they're approachable, and I want to listen to them. So I think, you know, for me, I'm not upset with these YouTubers who are coming and giving tips, but for me, I'm like not born a coach, but I think I'm destined to be a coach. You know, I think from very young, this is my one goal. And, you know, I trained for 7 years voluntary, you know, did everything, just trying to scrape by. You know, I remember having £10 a week to live off in Wales, you know, £10 is like $15 a week. And like, okay, I can buy a razor this week. You know, can buy some shaving foam this week. And then next week I can, you know, buy a loaf of bread or something. You know, but just scraping by, but loving what I was doing.
Yeah.
And having a dream of, I want to be a sports coach. And, you know, doctors train for 7 years. You know, I trained as long as a doctor in all these different activities. And then finally got to Hong Kong. I was traveling across Asia coaching. I coached in Nepal with street kids for 6 months, and then moved to Hong Kong. Then got offered, there was a job for a professional sports coach. And I went there, he looked through my like long list and was like, this is incredible. He said, you're everything we need. This is, you know, get me the job on the spot. And then, you know, I feel emotional talking about this, but they handed me I got this letter in the post that opened it up. And it said, professional sports coach. And I wept when I got that letter because, you know, being a dream to be, not just to be a sports coach, but be a professional sports coach.
Yeah.
And that was my title.
Yeah.
And I just felt, wow, I worked hard for that.
Yeah.
That position. And yeah, just incredible.
It's so wild.
You know,
I love how you just kind of dipped in and said, so now I'm in Hong Kong, Nepal. I'm like, wait a minute. How did that? But that's wild. So how old were you when you were in Hong Kong?
So I was in Wales. I was 18 years old.
Yeah.
For 2.5 years. So sort of 20. And then I got up, and then I was in London for a few years. I moved to London trying to make it as a coach. I got a job as a climbing instructor and sort of soccer, but just a couple of hours a week, so I couldn't really earn enough money. So I worked in a cafe, in a gym, like close to sport. And then my church were doing a mission trip to Nepal, the Himalayas, and they said, we need a soccer and a tennis coach. I said, it's basketball. It was basketball, tennis, and soccer. I was like, this is me. That's what I coach. This has got to be for me. So they said, great. So I was already qualified. So I went, they said, it's voluntary. You can't, you know, it's no money. But I said, that's fine. That's great. I never work for money. I never coach for money.
You were making a career out of not working for money.
Exactly. So it's sort of a new concept now in 2025 where people are following their passion. But I was doing that 12 years old.
Yeah.
It's, however many years that ago that is. And, excuse me. So, So I went to Nepal, worked with street kids for 6 months, 6.5 months. And then a visa situation meant I had to leave the country. So I went on from from Nepal onto Hong Kong. And just trying to follow my dream, and then just sort of scraping by again. I had some support, some income just to sort of pay for rent and food. And then I saw this job as a sports coach in Hong Kong, and I was living in a hotel room, so I had no phone, no cell phones, no pager. And so I remember I gave the number for the hotel lobby. Or it was actually a corridor. It was a corridor with a phone. The old phones that you sort of wind, this sort of thing. And so I'd call different jobs, and then I'd give them the hotel room corridor number. So then you'd have to be in the hotel, listening out for the phone. And then run down the corridor and grab the phone. Hello, Mark, can I help you? And they didn't realize it's not my phone. It's just like a corridor phone. So that's how I got the job, where I gave the number to the sports company. They called and ran down the corridor, answered the phone, and then met them in a cafe. And but just I think the joy of where you're pursuing for something for so long and you don't give up hope. You're dreaming. You've got a vision of your future and you're working towards it. So I think for young people and for people who aspire to something great, that you got to have a dream, but you got to have a plan, and you can't just be dreaming. And many people, they have these dreams and goals, and it's out here in your mind, which is great, but you got to somehow ground that into how am I going to make that happen, and then you got to start taking steps towards that dream, even though you can't see it, working, and you're sort of trying to find your way, but you're still keeping hope. You still keep joy in the midst of, and really the journey's been amazing. Coaching outdoor pursuits on the Welsh coastline. I remember sitting on the cliffs of Wales, looking at the sea, belaying with a rope, and thinking, this is incredible. I'm so blessed. I wasn't thinking I'm not earning any money. I was just thinking I'm so blessed to be doing something I love, to be coaching young people, and the journey doesn't have to be painful. But it's obviously, I think I wept because it was a realization of my dream when I got to Hong Kong. Yeah. That all this had been great. I'd loved it, loved the journey. I'd been trained, but I wasn't being rewarded for it. Mm-hmm. And then once I was it was almost someone putting a seal of approval. You are a professional coach. Yeah. I think that was the highlight for me.
Yeah. Well, I think obviously we do this for the journey, but there is something. It feels nice to be validated. Yeah. Right? Yeah. It's not why we do it, but having that validation. So everything, literally everything you were talking about with coaching is exactly for me as an acting coach. It's all the same stuff. I think one of the most important parts, and so I was just thinking about it metaphorically in terms of having everyone in front of you. Yeah. Right? Because as a coach, on a previous podcast, we were talking about being an instructor, a coach, and how you're a guide. Right? You're not you're not there just to provide answers, because a big part of that process is helping others kind of figure out their path. Yeah, yeah. And I think when I think about a guide, the most important thing is that they are safe. They trust, right? And I know for you, obviously in terms of a kayak, safety means life or death, right? Yeah, yeah. But in terms of the acting room, safety means I can be vulnerable.
Yeah, I love it.
I can open myself up. I can have a lot of mishits. And know that that's okay. Yeah, yeah. Know that I can slip and fall, but I'm in an environment where I can learn to trust. Yeah, yeah. Right. And I think when I think about what makes a really good coach, And I tell people all the time, I mean, obviously, you know, you've become like family, right? You know, like a brother. God knows how much time we spend on the phone, more than almost any man, I think. I mean, we'll have conversations
like this.
Yeah, like this, where you'll just call, and then next thing I know, it's like an hour and a half.
Yeah, sorry, man.
No, but I love it. I love it, and
This is why we're on the podcast.
Yeah, 100%. This is why you are likely going to be the only person who's not in the entertainment industry, yet you are, as a coach, it's so relevant. I think, I mean, because everything you're saying about coaching in terms of actors, like even talking about having a dream, but if with no plan, this is something that I tell my actors all the time. It's great to have these dreams, but if you don't have a strategy, if you don't have a specific target that you're moving towards, it's going to make it really hard, you know? But I love it. And I think trust is such an important component. But so coming back to what I was saying, obviously, you know, we have a close relationship, but objectively, when I look at the way you coach, it's just different. Like all of those years, I think, of doing what you've done, it comes into your coaching, you know? And I think that's something that can separate the coaches who really sustained and who really are bringing value, not just giving tips. You know, and I think that's such an important part of it. You know, in terms of, because I want to talk about pickleball and just, you know, because for me personally, pickleball. When I was listening to a podcast, and they were talking about like, what's that thing in your life where if someone told you you can't do it anymore, you would be like, no, that can't be. And that's what pickleball has become for me. You know, now obviously I love my work, I love my family, but next is pickleball. Like family, work, and then pickleball, which is like a crazy concept. Even the name, you know, the name pickleball, you know, and people, is that thing where you hit around the wiffle ball and you just go, oh, it's so much more than that, though.
It is more than that. That's
it's so much more than that. So in terms of pickleball and like where this sport is right now, what are your thoughts on it? Where you know it's come from, but also where it's going?
Yeah, I think I said earlier that America's leading the way. I think that all the highest level pros in the world live in America and play in America. The pro circuit's here. So having that in America is a gift to us because we get to see the highest level of play and experience it, or go and watch them play. And then they're playing against each other every day, you know, training together or playing against each other. So the level's getting higher and higher. And you know, Europe, Asia, they're all quite a long way behind, you know, years behind really, in terms of the skill, strategy, the way to play. So they're all sort of trying to catch up. But, you know, the game is evolving quickly as well. So you've got this game that is being led by the States, and has the best players in the world, and it's also rapidly evolving. And then you've got the rest of the world trying to catch up to that, and they are catching up quick. And I think because PPA are bringing events in Asia, they're doing like an Asia PPA, there's stuff sort of globally, there's events happening that's bringing players around the world together. So I know the English Open has American pros going there every year and winning, winning every year. But it's exposing them to a high level of play. Yeah. And I think that, you know, the game is it's such a beautiful game. I think that because it has so many elements that are outside hitting a ball, it just brings a beauty to the game. You know, I've coached tennis and squash all my life, and I would go for a coffee with friends after playing, but there's just such a camaraderie and banter and laughter and joy. I've said to friends that I've never seen a sport where you can have an incredible point, you lose the point, and everyone's celebrating the point.
Yeah,
Even the losers. The losers are also going, wow, that was amazing. Amazing ATP. And they're celebrating your winning shot, that you just beat them. Whereas other sports, they get a winning shot against you, you're like a bit annoyed about it.
Yeah.
You just beat me.
Yeah.
And it sort of has this this element to it that's different to other sports. I think the kitchen, the no volley zone, creates a unique environment where you have a sort of safe space where you can put the ball, if you're skillful enough to, you can change from being on defense into offense by a great reset. And so that's sort of a different element to other sports. And but just the closeness to your opponents as well.
Yeah,
so
the
you're close to them.
proximity.
So you're right in front of your opponents, and this
Yeah.
it just lends to banter and comments and trash talk or just laughter.
All of that.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
that's every time we play, it's
Yeah.
banter, laughter, trash talk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and celebration of points.
Yeah, and all while you're exercising.
Yeah,
And physically, and this is what I think
Yeah.
a lot of people don't realize. You know,
Yeah.
we were joking a little bit about, you know, obviously a lot of doctors have made a lot of money. Yeah, I remember seeing articles about like
All the injuries,
all
yeah.
the injuries, right?
Yeah,
But it is, you get this physical thing as well, even though it's,
yeah, yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I mean, on the flip side of that, I think that they're not taking into account hearts getting stronger, muscles getting stronger, you know, diabetes being, you know, working through that. And, you know, people have ailments that if they were sat on the couch all day, they'd have other problems.
Right.
But, you know, now they're doing exercise regularly, their hearts are getting stronger, their lungs are getting a bigger capacity, and they have more joy, more purpose, less depression, anxiety, their friendships, social life, and it's bringing so much value. And that's why, you know, they get a knee injury or hurt an ankle, and they still want to play. Right. You've got these guys with strapped up arms and bandages on the legs, and they're limping on the court. Oh yeah, I'll be all right. You know, wrapping their legs up with all these knee braces. I saw a guy with a robot knee the other day. You know, robot mechanical thing. I say, wow. Oh, it's just like, you know, I've got a knee injury, but I'm good. I'm good with this brace on, and it brings so much joy and laughter, camaraderie, friendship, a social life, that the injuries you do get. And some of them are, you know, can be serious, but it's where players are playing above their ability, or they forget how old they are now. That's it.
Well, yeah, I
But,
mean, I think, you know, I love that you said that though too, right? Because obviously America, while we are leading the growth of pickleball, we are also leading the world in obesity, chronic disease, and all of these things.
Yeah, yeah.
And like you said, you know, you could be sitting on the couch getting ailments from just not doing anything.
Yeah, yeah.
It's definitely preferable to have a knee injury because you've been moving your body, getting out there.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
I've met so many people who said, I used to be 100 pounds heavier, or 50 pounds heavier, or 20 pounds heavier, and now pickleball, I've lost all this weight just through playing.
Yeah.
And they've not changed anything. Maybe they've changed the diet a bit more. But it's just encouraging a healthier lifestyle.
Yeah. Well, and it's so, you know, when we think about a healthier lifestyle, we obviously have the physical component, right? Your body. But then also, you know, you touched a little bit on anxiety, depression, these types of things. And we are in a state right now where there's so much disconnect, right? And there's so much, there's such a lack in community and just, you can't virtually play pickleball.
No.
You've got to be there in person.
Yeah, yeah.
And in turn, when we have to physically be with these other human beings, much of the time, strangers, right?
Yeah.
You know, and that's what a lot of people don't realize with pickleball is that, I mean, almost every week I'm meeting someone new through pickleball.
Amazing.
And it's one of these things where that connection component, I think, is so important.
Yeah.
And people are really, they are craving that in this day and age. And I think pickleball gives them that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, amazing.
What are have you had like experiences through your coaching with individuals who you've met who have talked about like the effect that pickleball has had
Yeah.
outside of just like on a physical?
Yeah, I think that we live in a sort of media-heavy world in terms of phones and iPads and technology, and which is all wonderful when it's in balance, But once we we can get addicted to our phones, it's hard to not check your phone every however many minutes,
Second.
Yeah. And so I think that a sport, any sport, brings you in the present. You have to be in the moment. You can't be distracted.
Right.
If you're starting to think, oh, I wonder what's for dinner, you're going to be hit by a ball. So and players who are easily distracted, it's sort of bringing that muscle back of being in the moment, being present, and where that can become, we're so used to fast moving, flicking the screen, looking through the next video. We watch a video I found myself as well doing, watch for 20 seconds, oh, I'm done like that, and then flick on the next one. And then you're looking through and you want something to capture you, and our attention spans are so short that we want fast, quick fix stuff. And yet pickleball forces you to be in the present. And I talk to players about, on their mental game, where they're thinking about the last point during the next point. So they're being distracted by the last point, and they're trying to analyze it and work out what was wrong. And there's a ball flying towards you while you're thinking about, oh, I shouldn't have done that. I should have done this. And then you miss the next point. And then this is why players lose 2 or 3 points in a row, because they're distracted. They're not in the moment. And I think that the ability to embrace the moment, stay in it, enjoy it, be sort of then you're in that flow state where there's no other thought. You're just enjoying it. And I think that's where people find true joy in the game, is when, there's a combinational attack or something and you're in the moment and there's no time to think. And you're not thinking, oh, I do this and then this. There might be a combination of the patterns you've learnt, but you're in the moment and you're not distracted by phones and that's the biggest battle for me personally, is when I'm playing, because I'm sort of have a coaching mindset, I'm trying to like play here, but then also see the other 3 or 4 courts around me to keep them safe. And so I'll be playing a game, hey, there's a ball behind you. And I'll see there's a ball rolling behind this player. Hey, watch that ball. And I'm playing. And I've learned to be able to keep playing and do it, but like see around me. But then when I play really strong players, I've got to stop doing that. I've got to be, so I play someone who's very strong. I can't be like distracted by, oh, there could be a ball, or what? Oh, that was a good point over there.
Right.
Great point. I find myself playing a game going, oh, that was awesome. Great finish over there. And I'm watching them put the ball away and still playing the game. Yeah. But, and I suppose that's my heart, to help as many as I can in the session. But, for one-to-one sessions or, small groups, if you give your time and attention to the group, it's so precious. Yeah. Because many people don't give time. They don't give you attention. They're distracted. We're talking and then they're like looking at their phone while we're talking. Right. We're in a meal and someone's checking the phone pings. And, we're in a culture where there's so much pulling you away from the present moment or the person. And, I teach my coaches that before we give any coaching, we've got to build relationship, rapport, connection, and then coaching. Coaching comes last. So we want to connect with the person, be there, watch them, observe what's happening, be warm, be encouraging, connect with them, make them laugh, smile, be friendly. And these sort of things that open the heart. And then when they make an error, hey, don't worry, no problem. And you're not even going to correct them, because you want to build connection first before you give advice. And I think that for young coaches, they're often quick to jump on a problem. So that they've got all this bag of tricks, bag of tips that they want to share, and they're enthusiastic, and they want to share. And as soon as there's an error, oh, this was wrong, you flicked your wrist. And the players think, flipping heck, give me a second, I'm a bit nervous. Or, yeah, I just didn't see the ball. And then they feel they've got to justify themselves. And if you step over the line too early with coaching, it can be seen as criticism. So I say there's a fine line between coaching and criticism, because really you're pointing out an error. You're showing this needs work. I can help you fix this. So if it's done badly, or the wrong tone of voice, or too early, or where there's no relationship established, then it can be misunderstood as, well, you're just being critical. You know, you don't understand. I'm just nervous.
Right.
Then they justify themselves, and then you've just lost them. Now they've shut the walls. Now they've got walls up because they think, wow, he's a bit harsh.
Mm-hmm.
And so I tell my coaches, especially new coaches or people who come to work with me, don't say anything. Don't coach them for the first 20, 30 minutes. Don't say anything. And you're going to see all the errors. Don't say anything. Because in pickleball especially, there's people who set themselves up as the voice of pickleball on every court and street and park, and they want to give everybody advice. And it may be good advice, it may be bad advice, but they want to just tell everybody how to play.
Yeah.
And I think because of the camaraderie in the community, it's allowed this voice, these people to come forward, and where they feel it's their right to just, well, I'm going to tell you what you're doing wrong. You know, can I tell you what you're doing wrong, Erik? And I'd say, no, thank you. Thanks, but no thanks. So, but a lot of players feel, oh, okay, yeah. You know, in the middle of a game, especially ladies will come to me and say, you know, this person keeps correcting me, and I get nervous and I'm upset. And I say, you got to draw a boundary. You got to stop them correcting you in the middle of a game, because as soon as they correct you in a game situation, in rec play, we're talking about, then you're in your head. You've left the moment. Now you're in your thoughts. Now you've left the present moment. Now you're thinking about the tip, whether it's good or bad. Is this right? Was I really doing this? Was I out of position? And now there's a ball coming towards you, and you're processing what they just said to you. So the coaching in a game setting, rec play, is unhelpful and often is sort of unappreciated.
Right.
You know, because it's not invited. Coaching is a privilege and requires permission.
Right.
So I need to be invited. So if I'm in rec play, I'm not coaching anyone, and everyone knows I'm a coach. But I'll just say, and then when they say, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
I'll say, here, you got this, no problem.
Yeah.
Because I want them to relax, see their best game, where they feel I'm not judging, I'm not analyzing their game, I'm just encouraging them. And then I see them start to relax, and then I see their best game.
Yeah. I mean, again, so relevant to acting. We were just talking about this, I think it was either in a class yesterday, the day before, and how we can get very heady, right? So just by definition, if I'm in my head, I'm not here. I'm not with you. And in your example, a ball's coming. In the acting room, a line's coming. Yes. The moment's unfolding, and I'm thinking about, oh, should I stop here? Should I do this? And then in that moment, when I'm thinking that, I've fallen out of the moment of the scene.
Amazing.
Right? And then really, you know, I can try to come back or whatever, but that's so hard too when you've chosen to remove yourself from the moment.
Wow.
And I think that I want to touch on that personally when you were talking about having a point where we talk about that flow state. It's like everything is moving, and even though you're aware, you're not thinking.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like an awareness without thinking.
Yeah.
Right? You're just reacting, moving. And I know that for me personally, one point like that, I could play for 2 to 3 hours. And if I have one point like that, it's all worth it. It's like it's to have those moments, you know, where I tell people often, you know, when we get the chills, you know, not from being cold, but from having those moments where, you know, it could be my daughter says something. It could be a moment where I'm just with my wife. But also in pickleball, I have those moments where it's like the point finishes and I feel the chills, you know, and I'm like, yes. That's where I want to be. And I think that's such a big part of it is that where else are people getting that where they have to be fully present, you know, they have to be totally engaged with those around them, you know, and that's just where I think we're lacking that in a lot of ways in life. And so I think that's such a big part of pickleball is that it gives us this thing, this opportunity where we have to be present. Because if you're not, well, balls can hit you in the face. And that's not fun. You know?
Yeah, I call it unconscious competence.
Oh, I like that.
Unconscious competence.
Can you expand upon?
Yeah, so it is part of the 4 stages of learning. So the first is conscious incompetence. Sorry, unconscious incompetence. Unconscious incompetence. That's where you don't know what you don't know. The second stage is conscious incompetence. So that is where you understand the objective. It's in your head. You understand it. It's conscious, but it's not working. And that's the frustrating stage where players, they'll be shown something, it doesn't work, and it's frustrating because you understand what you're trying to do, but you can't execute because your skill level's not there, or you haven't got enough reps, or you're not quite doing the technique properly. So I teach that most players hit the conscious incompetence and they draw back and think, forget this is too difficult. It could be in acting as well, where you try something, there's a struggle, there's striving, it's like, oh, forget this, I'm going to go and play football.
Yeah.
This is too hard.
Yeah.
And you hit that wall of where it's not working and you feel embarrassed, or you sort of, you know what you're trying to do, everyone else, it looks easy for them, and then you draw back and you stay the same.
Yeah.
Or you regress.
Yeah.
And yet if you push through the growing pains of whatever activity you're in, then it becomes conscious competence. So now you're thinking about it, but it's working. And people start to compliment you, say, wow, Erik, you're so good at this. And the response is, well, I'm getting there, it's okay. It still feels difficult because there's conscious thought. Then the last stage, once you go through that stage, becomes unconscious competence. Now there's no thought. That's the flow state where there's no thought now. I'm not thinking about paddle angles, grip pressure when I'm swinging, or if I'm hitting a certain stroke, I'm not breaking down the mechanics in my head. I'll do it with no thought. And the challenge is everyone wants to go to unconscious competence and miss out the other 3 stages.
Right.
They want to jump to that. Well, I don't like the sound of conscious incompetence. Doesn't sound very nice, Mark. I just want to do the other one. No, you've got to go through that messy stage where it doesn't work and it's a struggle and you're striving, and that's where the grind is.
Yeah.
Where you have grit and courage and you keep pushing, you keep drilling, you keep repping, or you keep practicing. You know, how many audition tapes have to be done over and over again because they keep hitting a wall, and you know it's in them, and you know this. I can see it. Come on, bring it to me. And for me as a coach, I want to create a safe environment where they feel like they can trust me, but then I want to give them success in that unconscious. I mean, it's not unconscious competence, but I want to give them conscious competence, that conscious competent state, by making the drill or the skill as simple as possible, by breaking it into its smallest component parts, working on each part separately, so they can get success in each part. So instead, I think this is where coaches go wrong, is they'll have the big picture, and they try and give them the big picture. Eat this whole pie. Go on, eat it, the whole thing. Go on, eat it all. And they're like, this is just too big, I can't do it. And they're struggling in a sort of pie analogy, a pickleball pie.
Yeah.
It's just too big. So I'll take a small slice and say, hey, have a bite of this. And they go, oh, that's really good. That's amazing. And in the breaking down a skill, I'll give them a small part of the skill where they are successful, and that breeds confidence. So competence breeds confidence comes from competence. So we want to feel competent, and that's my job as a coach, to recognize what level they're at, where are they at in their game, what's the skill level, how well can they hit a ball, and I pitch the exercise based on the player, not my expectations.
Yeah.
Or like, okay, you need to do this thing. So if I bring the thing I'm teaching down to their level where they can execute it successfully, then they start to build confidence, and they go, this is amazing. And then you give them another piece of the stroke or the pie. And then you gradually build, so they're getting confidence on each component part. And then once you put it all together, they've already built confidence on all the small parts, and now they're going, this is amazing. I'm doing this really well. And now you've seen it yourself from me coaching you. And now when you put it all back together, they have the confidence to go for it because they believe themselves.
That's an interesting concept, this whole idea of confidence and competence. You really have to kind of
think about it.
Yeah, you have to be very present
Yes.
And in the moment, when saying confidence and competence,
Yeah.
you know, it's like, if you said it to, and they're very similar words. But I think competence is one where, you know, when we think of confidence, we think, at least for me, I think of, okay, that's like a mindset to be confident. But if I'm not competent in the thing,
you lose your confidence.
Yeah. Right. But also, the confidence is required to be competent in something because you need to believe that you can do it, right? So it's almost like the two work with each other.
This is where the skill of a coach, where they're able to sort of mold the environment to be able to give them almost, they're going to be successful. It's almost like you set the stage in your acting terms. I'm just dropping a little acting.
Love it. Killing
acting
it.
pun. So you set the stage for the player where they almost can't fail, you know, and then you gradually make it harder. So I set the bar low. I'm not telling them this, but I'm making it very, very simple. So in terms of pickleball, it could be, instead of a rally feed, I'll do a drop feed right next to their paddle. I'll put the paddle in the right shape, right position. I'll show them the swing path, and I'll literally drop the ball in just the right spot where they almost can't miss it. Or I'm literally throwing the ball to hit the paddle face. All they got to do is just move their arm, and it will hit. I'm hitting the paddle.
Right.
But then it's sort of, they start to go, oh, this is working. This is great. I can feel it. And I'm sort of setting them up for success, so that, and obviously you can't stay there, because then obviously that it's almost like spoon feeding a baby. You start there, but then you gradually give them, you know, more substantial meals, and it gets bigger, but they're growing like a child.
Right.
You know, as they grow, they can cope with more. So we're sort of trying to find the skill is for the coach to find the level they're at, to pitch the teaching at the right level, and you know, and then you nurture them and they grow, and you can see someone grow and flourish in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Oh, I know.
I'm not talking about months or years. About someone growing as a player. You know, I remember I was with a lady who was telling me that she's really struggling. She doesn't know how to play the game, and her husband's like a 4-5. She's struggling at 3-5. He keeps giving her all this advice, all these tips. In this case, you should do this. In this case, you should do this. And I'm saying, I'm listening to all the things he's telling her. I'm saying, well, yeah, in that situation, that is correct. Yeah, in that situation, that's correct. Yeah, he's right again on that one. And he's giving her all these 4-5 level strategies and plays and attacking patterns that were at his level. And she's not there yet. She hasn't grown to that level. So she's just overwhelmed and confused by all these different things. And so this is where me as a coach, like listening to her heart, listen to what she's saying. She feels confused, upset. And I said to her, you're a great player. You're a really great player. And then she started crying. This is a one-to-one. So she's, you know, but she feels safe. I said, you're an awesome player. I said, you're so good. I said, you have such great strokes. You hit the ball well. And I said, you know, first of all, stop listening to your husband.
Right.
You know, he's just bringing confusion. I said, you've got to not listen. You know, the stuff he's teaching you is correct, but you've got to build a foundation first, a simple foundation of play that you understand. Serve, drive, drop, or whatever the pattern is. And learn that pattern first. That's your beginner level or sort of foundation level. And then once you've got that, then you build confidence and grow as a player. Then you know what to do. And then you can add more complex strategies, and it can evolve, and you can break rules when you've built this foundation. You feel confident. But her sort of, for me as a coach, she needed encouragement and not tips.
Yeah.
And you know, I could have said, "Wow, let's work on your roll volley. Let's work on your forehand counter, or let's work on your fast hands." And I would have missed that the person was more important than the paddle. That I've got to put the person first, above the paddle, position, purpose, you know, all this other stuff. We can be so focused in on our tips and our knowledge that we miss the person in front of us. And for me, listening, hearing the heart of the person, because, you know, there can be a much bigger area that needs addressing. You know, confidence is a huge thing, or or your balance, or just like she was just lost all her confidence, or was confused by the game. So me encouraging her and giving her a simple thing to work through, she left feeling, wow, thank you so much. I feel so good now. And but recognizing someone in front of you who has a heart, has a soul, needs encouragement, has insecurities, is a little intimidated, and if we as coaches make them feel comfortable, safe, that we're listening, that we are involved, that we're not distracted. You know, I remember this is from 20 years ago, if you don't mind. So I was coaching soccer. We had like 100 kids in a soccer field. And I've just changed my American words for you.
Thank you.
So we're coaching soccer. I'm with this like 17, 18-year-old. I was probably 23 at the time, and running a sports company in England. I think with 60 or 100 kids. And this kid is like walking down on the road, just walking up and down on his mobile phone. The mobile phones were quite new then. And he's walking, just chatting. And I'm there looking, like watching the whole group. I've got like all 100 kids in front of me. I'm watching everybody. There's a kid walking along the top of monkey bars. You know, you swing on the monkey bars. He's literally balanced on top, maybe, I don't know, 10 foot off the ground, walking along like this. I'm shouting, get off the bars, get off the bars. And then my coach, I'm saying, get off your phone. Look at that, like behind there's a kid, and there's a kid with a nose. I think I was helping a kid with a nosebleed at the time. So I'm helping a kid with a nosebleed. There's a kid walking along the monkey bars. And I'm shouting to my coach, get off your phone and help that kid there. He's going to fall off the bars. So, you know, it's sort of natural to be distracted in today's age where there's so many things pulling us away from the moment. And once we sort of embrace the moment and dig into the moment with someone, it's so precious to the person in front of you that they recognize, wow, he's given me his time. He's given me his full attention. And it's like, you know, now with the podcast, I put my phone off, put it on silent, I took my keys off. I don't want any keys jangling because I want to give you my full attention and be in the moment where I can give you my best. And so I think that's the heart of it, is just giving your best to your
and
clients.
I think one of the key words, and we haven't touched on it that much, but in the acting room, it's at the core of everything, which is listening. And, you know, I love that example you brought up of that woman where it's all of these things are spinning, and which is the case often with the acting room. Oh, I got my lines and this and that, and you know, there's the camera here, and I can't look at the camera, but you're like right next to the camera, and I've got all this stuff that's spinning. But the benefit of listening, and you know, you from a coach's perspective, talking about how powerful listening is. But when we think about that, what listening, if we're really listening, right? The difference between listening and hearing, which I'll be the first to say, I've said it before, I've been known to sometimes not listen, which is sort of ironic that I chose a profession where listening is but also maybe makes sense because, you know, we teach what we need to learn the most. But when we think about really listening, we can think about listening beyond our ears. So I briefly touched on, you know, the mancation that we do, which, just so everyone can understand, mancation, it's like a vacation for men who all play pickleball. So that's what mancation is. But the first one we did down in Ponte Vedra, you came down and met with us, and then you and I got to drive back together. So that was like, I don't know, whatever, a 5-hour, 6-hour drive. 6 hours, yeah. And we got to talk so much. And so I think, you know, obviously you and I could talk forever and ever. But I would love to know a little bit about, so you've built up this Mark Price Pickleball, which we still kind of joke around. We'll hit a shot and go, Mark Price Pickleball. Kind of do a really bad British accent. And I would love for you to talk a little bit about moving forward, like what your plans are, how you see Mark Price Pickleball progressing in the future, and what's on the horizon for you.
Yeah, it's hard to know. You know, I'm sort of giving my best in what I do. we've got a lot of things sort of behind the scenes we're working on. So we're working on a drills book right now, which is really phenomenal. It's like 160 pages now.
Yeah.
I know you wrote the foreword for that.
I know, yeah. So people know, yeah. You reached out to me and said, how do you feel about writing the foreword on my book? I was like, yeah, amazing, because I'm in the process of writing my own book right now as well.
Yeah.
But that's very cool.
So we're coming towards the end. It's it's been a labor of love. We've done, I think, 160 pages. I couldn't believe it the other day. 160 pages.
Wow.
And then we've done drills and tips. So we've done it's a drills book, but I can't help but add coaching tips throughout the book as well. Just giving pro tips or advice on a certain stroke. So it's a beautiful book. I think, I'm an entrepreneur at heart. So I just and I move fast as well. So I get an idea, and that day it's happening.
That's probably why you and I get along. We're just like, what about this? I got an idea. Let's go.
Yeah. So predicting the next 5 years is hard. I mean, 4 years ago, I was running just one-to-one sessions, and then started doing clinics and camps, and then social media blew up, which I wouldn't have predicted. And then now it's international travel, coaching all over the world. So I think, trying to consolidate what I've done over the last 30 years. I'm thinking about sort of legacy now, and a lot of coaches are approaching me saying that we've got qualified in a certain qualification, but we don't know how to teach the sport. And so the stuff we're talking about today, the heart of coaching, and how you coach and how you break skills down, and sort of, I suppose coaching from your heart really, but also bringing the years of experience in. So I'm working on a certification program at Mark Price Pickleball, Mark Price Academy, where we qualify coaches to coach pickleball, and then we're working on an app as well. So yeah, I love coaching. I love coaching coaches as well, though. So people who are already at a high level, they've already gained knowledge, they want to impart that and show them how to do that. Like you're doing with acting, you've got this high level skill, and you want to impart and shape and help them become better people and better players or better actors. So I did that in China a couple of years ago, where I ran the certification program for 50 coaches.
Wow.
And so I thought, wow, I should do this myself. I'm doing it for another company. Why not do it for myself? So so I'd love to train coaches. I think the heart of, there's two quotes that I sort of live by. One is Michael Jordan was asked what is his greatest skill, and he said that it's heart that separates the good from the great. He didn't say it's my jump shot, it's my dunk, it's my whatever. He was saying it's the heart that separates the good from the great players. So I think having a heart that you want to help people. It's not about you. It's not about you looking good. I talk to my coaches about when we turn up at an event, the spotlight is on us. So we have to turn that spotlight away from us onto the client and make them feel like a superstar. And my goal is for them to feel great. And the young or the immature coach will want to show how good they are. Look at me. Look at this. Look how good I am. Look at my ATP. Look at my earnings. And trying to show off and show how great they are as a player. And I teach my coaches it's really important that it's not about you. It's not about you showing how good you are. It's not about your ego. It's not about your backhand flick. It's about the client, about making them feel amazing. And the way we do that is you bring your game down to their level. You try and find their level, and you play slightly above their level, and you stretch them gently. So you're playing kind. I said, don't crush the clients. Don't crush the clients. Don't smash the clients. Give them 2 free pop-ups. Extend the rallies, play gently, and find where they're at. And then what happens when you do that is they surprise you at times, and they'll body bag you, or they'll hit down the line, beat you, hit it past you because you're trying to find their level, and then they beat it. I was on a clinic in White County. No, was it White County? Yeah, White County. And I'm playing with these clients, and this guy, we're playing, they're 3-5 low, and this guy hits a backhand winner down the line. And I was like, whoa, And then he goes, I beat Mark Price. I can go home now. I'm celebrating. Thank you so much. Thanks, Mark. I've got what I wanted. And he was so happy, and I celebrated with him.
Yeah.
And I was happy with him.
Yeah.
And I wasn't like, well, I'm going to get you back now. Right, I'm going to show you. You're not going to do that again. You know, and you're not allowing, you want to celebrate their joy, and they felt great. That's what I want. That's the moments I want where I'm not trying to prove how good I am. I want you to feel, wow, I'm amazing. I'm an amazing player. And I make them feel that way. And when I play too aggressively or I'm too strong, they're already nervous. So if I play strong, that I just see a nervous player in front of me. But if I play gently and kind and give them opportunities to keep playing, and then it's sort of it's a heart thing. It's about, I want them to feel great. I want them to feel that they're confident and they grow as a player and not feel, oh, wow, he's amazing. He just crushed me 11-0. But I turn the spotlight onto the player. And then the other quote is, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And that's the whole reason about connection, and that people need to realize that I care about them first, and then they want to know. Then they want to open their heart to my knowledge. So, and I think immature coaches will try and share their knowledge first before the person realizes, actually, I care about you. It's coming from a place of caring and wanting to help you, not trying to prove how knowledgeable I am. So, so that's sort of two areas that I try and live by. Just to draw greatness out of people, draw the hidden potential out of players.
Yeah. So good, man. It's so good. I love all of that. I mean, you were, for me, a crucial part of this journey, not just in my skills as a pickleball player, but I think the fact that, which it was kind of funny, I mean, the way we connected, I had gotten into pickleball, and then I said, I want to do this more. I'm like, but where do I go? I don't even know what to do. So I got on Facebook, and I remember I was trying to find pickleball groups, and I see this guy, Mark Price Pickleball, and I was like, oh, I dig this vibe. Okay, oh, he's going to be in Roswell. And I remember we did those one-on-one lessons, you know, 4 years ago about.
Yeah.
And but that was, I think, one of the biggest things that I got from our relationship outside of becoming friends. And, you know, I mean, it was this sense of like you helped show me how much someone can appreciate this sport. And in turn, that appreciation that you have for it, that love, that heart that you have for it, that grew within me. And so, and you know, I know it's, for some people, it's hard to understand if you don't play, but it has become such a wonderful part of my life, you know, through the people that I've met, through the friendships, through the laughter. You brought up laughter. I mean, gosh, I mean, there are times just yesterday where someone said something, and I couldn't even serve because I was laughing too much. I had to stop,
So
and
fun.
it's such a cool thing. And I jokingly say this, but I also kind of believe it. I think pickleball can save the world. I think if more people played pickleball, because when you get out on a pickleball court, I don't care who you voted for. I don't care what your job is. I don't care what car you drove here in. Are you fun? Okay, cool. Are you not hitting it in the net too much? And we come together in this community, and I think you are such a shining example of someone who has helped elevate this pickleball community, this world of pickleball, and I have no doubt that as it continues to grow, you're going to grow with it. And I'm just so excited. I'm excited for your book. I'm excited for what lies ahead for you. And
Thank you,
man, thank you.
I've got a gift for you.
Oh,
I got it here.
I got a gift. This is a first. I don't think I've ever been gifted a gift live on the show.
So this is new. It's just come out.
Ooh, look at this so people can see it. That is a pickleball court.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. And then these are you guys have to check this out. Go to Mark Price Pickleball on Instagram. And this is the war room, right? Isn't that what you call it?
Yeah, that's it.
So this is
The strategy board, yeah.
a strategy board. Yeah, so you guys can see it. A strategy board Dude, I love this. Because I've seen you do this on Instagram, and you're moving the pieces around.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna be this is gonna be how my daughters first get into pickleball right here. We're gonna be playing the game, and then they're gonna want to get out there on the court.
Amazing.
This is so cool. Well, thank you, man. Thank you for just everything you do, your heart-centric approach.
Thank you, mate.
I love that we got to have this conversation. I got to learn so many things. All right, so how can people check you out? What do you got going on?
Yeah, so everything's Mark Price Pickleball. They can go to Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah.
Our website's the same, markpricepickleball.com.
Yeah.
But I think come and join us. We're around the world. Come and join us on an event, on a camp. We do 3-day events. We'll be in Jamaica in December.
That sounds like the type of event. Yeah.
Yeah. We do Europe. We do 6 weeks in Europe. So come to England or Scotland.
Yeah.
Or somewhere in the States. But I think, being with someone in person is very special.
Yeah.
And sharing tips is great on social media. But meeting people, and it was a joy when I went to Puerto Rico. A guy came up to me with the board and said, I've been following you for 4 years. He was so excited to see me. I've been following you. I can't wait to do this camp. And so the social media community brings people together, and then when you meet them, it's even more special.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So come and join us on the camp.
Love it, man.
Thanks,
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
All right.